What is the one thing $50 billion can't buy? Fame, scrutiny, the paparazzi's flash. For the Thomson family, their unimaginable wealth isn't a tool for being seen, but the ultimate shield for disappearing completely. Their greatest luxury isn't the priceless art bleeding off their walls or the cashmere seats in their private cinemas. It's the profound, earth-shattering peace of total anonymity. They've engineered a life where they can move between their fortress in Toronto, their penthouse in New York, and their estate in the English countryside through a seamless network of private jets, armoured cars, and rumoured underground tunnels, like ghosts in the machine. They have bought the one thing every other billionaire on earth has lost forever. A normal life, lived in the most abnormal of circumstances. We are about to show you the mind-bending reality of a life engineered for absolute secrecy. If you're ready to see how the invisible half lives, you know what to do. Subscribe. The invisible fortresses they call home. Alright, so when you have billions of dollars, you don't just buy a house, you buy a sanctuary, a fortress. The Thomsons don't live on streets you or I could just drive down. They live in places that are designed to keep the world out. Their main base of operations is in Toronto, in a neighbourhood called Rosedale. Now, Rosedale is already one of the most expensive places to live in the entire country. We're talking old money, towering trees and massive historic mansions. But the Thomsons have taken it to a whole other level. They don't just own one house there. They've bought up multiple adjoining properties, creating what can only be described as a private family compound in the middle of the city. The total cost to acquire the land alone could easily exceed $100 million before they even laid a single new brick. That's like buying an entire suburban subdivision, bulldozing it and turning it into your private front yard. The annual property taxes on a compound like this would be more than most people earn in a decade, a multi-million-dollar bill they pay every year just for the privilege of owning that much exclusive private space. It's not just a home, it's a strategic acquisition of territory. Picture this. Towering brick walls and wrought iron gates that are more than just decorative. They are packed with sensors, cameras, and security systems that would make a bank vault look insecure. There are almost certainly guards patrolling the grounds 24/7, but you'd probably never see them. They're trained to be invisible. And what's inside these homes? Forget what you've seen on TV. We're talking about spaces designed by the world's most famous architects. Rooms with ceilings so high they feel like cathedrals. Floors made from rare marble imported from a single quarry in Italy. And technology that's seamlessly integrated into the walls. With the tap of a button on a phone, windows can frost over for privacy, hidden speakers can fill the house with music, and entire walls can slide away to reveal stunning gardens. Truth be told, these aren't just homes, they are personal resorts. They likely have indoor pools that convert to outdoor pools at the touch of a button. They probably have professional-grade movie theatres with cashmere seats and sound systems better than your local cinema. They almost certainly have underground garages that look like luxury car showrooms filled with bespoke vehicles. But the real secret, the thing that makes these homes truly unique, isn't the size or the tech. It's the privacy. There are rumours that some of their properties are connected by underground tunnels, so they can move between houses without ever stepping outside. It's a level of seclusion that is the ultimate luxury. They have created their own quiet kingdom, right in the heart of a bustling city. These Toronto mansions are just the beginning, though. With their kind of money, you don't have one home. You have a portfolio of properties scattered across the globe. A chic apartment overlooking Central Park in New York, a historic townhouse in London's most exclusive district, maybe a sprawling ranch in the countryside, or a winter estate in a warm, sunny paradise. Each one a private retreat, ready and waiting, staffed year-round just for them. The billion-dollar private museum. So, you have these massive fortress-like homes all over the world. What do you do with all that wall space? If you're a Thomson, you fill it with a private art collection so valuable it would make museum curators weep. This isn't about just buying a few nice paintings to match the sofa. This is about acquiring cultural treasures. owning a piece of human history. For the Thomsons, collecting art is not a hobby. It's a serious family passion and a major symbol of their power. The late Kenneth Thomson, David's father, was one of the most important art collectors of the 20th century. He didn't just buy art, he hunted it. He chased down rare pieces with a single-minded focus, and he had the money to outbid absolutely anyone, governments, museums, other billionaires. It didn't matter. If he wanted it, he got it. And his most famous purchase? Get this. Back in 2002, he bought a painting by the master artist Peter Paul Rubens called The Massacre of the Innocents. It's a powerful and historic piece of art. He bought it at a London auction for nearly $77 million. At the time, it was the most expensive old master painting ever sold. Ever. To put that $77 million figure from 2002 into perspective, when you adjust for inflation, that's like spending over $130 million today. For one painting. At the time, that was enough money to buy an entire 150-room luxury hotel or produce a Hollywood blockbuster movie like The Lord of the Rings. While nations debate funding for the arts, he made a purchase that dwarfed the entire annual budget for many national galleries. And when Kenneth Thomson gifted a portion of his collection to the Art Gallery of Ontario, the donation was valued at over 300 million Canadian dollars at the time, the single largest act of philanthropy in Canadian history. Today, that collection, which included the Rubens masterpiece, is worth an estimated $2 billion. They didn't just donate art, they single-handedly elevated a major public institution to world-class status, forever shaping the cultural landscape of a nation with a single decision. Let that sink in. $77 million for one painting. You could buy a fleet of private jets for that kind of money. He bought a single object to hang on a wall. That's the level we're operating at here. It's a move that says we don't just have money, we have taste, we have history, we own culture. And that's just one piece. Their collection is vast, including thousands of works. They have medieval artifacts, priceless miniature ships carved from ivory, and an absolutely unmatched collection of Canadian art. They literally own the definitive works of Canada's most famous artists. For years, much of this collection was kept completely private, seen only by family and close friends. Imagine walking through someone's house and casually strolling past a masterpiece that belongs in a museum. That was their reality. Eventually, Kenneth Thomson did something amazing and donated a huge part of his collection, worth billions, to the Art Gallery of Ontario. The gallery even had to build a whole new wing just to house it all. But here's the thing. Even after giving away art worth billions, the family still holds a massive and breathtakingly valuable private collection. It's a treasure chest of art and artifacts that continues to grow. So what one masterpiece would you buy? Comment below. If you're loving this look into insane wealth, smash that like button and be sure to subscribe for more secrets. So, you have these priceless, delicate works of art. How do you move them around the world? From your home in Toronto to your place in London? You definitely don't call a moving company. And that brings us to their next level of luxury, their travel. Because when you own a $77 million painting, you don't fly commercial. You don't even fly first class. You have your own fleet. And what that looks like is up next. Your own private airline and navy. All right, so let's talk about travel. For most of us, travel involves booking tickets, waiting in lines, and dealing with delays. For the Thomson family, it involves none of that. Their experience of moving around the world is as different from ours as walking is from teleporting. When you have a $50 billion fortune, you don't own a private jet. You own multiple private jets. We're talking about top-of-the-line aircraft like the Gulfstream G650 ER. These are not little puddle jumpers. These are flying palaces that can cross oceans without refueling. A brand new Gulfstream G650 ER costs around $70 million right off the bat. But the purchase price is just the entry fee. The cost to staff, fuel, maintain, and store an aircraft like this runs into the millions of dollars every single year. A single long-haul flight, say from Toronto to their home in London, can burn through over $50,000 in fuel alone. Think about that. The cost of one trip for them is more than the median annual salary in most developed countries. This isn't just about avoiding lines at the airport. It's about operating on a financial plane where the basic costs of a single day of travel are equivalent to a lifetime of savings for the average person. It's a level of expenditure that is simply background noise to them. The cost of doing business and living life on their own terms. You decide you want to have dinner in Paris. You don't check for flights. You make a phone call. Within an hour, a black car picks you up and drives you directly onto the tarmac of a private airport, bypassing the main terminal entirely. You walk up the stairs of your jet, where a flight crew that works only for you greets you by name. Inside, it's not an airplane cabin. It's a penthouse suite in the sky. The seats are handcrafted from the softest Italian leather, and they recline into fully flat beds. There's a private bedroom, a marble bathroom with a shower, and a lounge area with a big screen TV. A personal chef is on board, ready to cook you a gourmet meal from a menu you designed. You want lobster and champagne at 40,000 feet? No problem. You fly on your schedule. There are no layovers, no connections, and no screaming babies unless they're your own. You can take off whenever you want, from wherever you want. This level of freedom is a luxury that is almost impossible to comprehend. It erases borders and makes the world feel like a small neighbourhood. And it's not just about comfort, it's about efficiency and privacy. Business deals can be made in total secrecy mid-flight. Family can travel without anyone ever knowing they've left the country. It's your own private airline. But what if you don't want to fly? What if you prefer the sea? Well, you just move to your mega yacht. We're not talking about a little boat for weekend trips. We are talking about a floating mansion that's hundreds of feet long. These yachts are custom built for hundreds of millions of dollars. They have multiple decks, a swimming pool, a hot tub, a movie theatre, a gym, and a helipad on the top deck, so your private helicopter can land and take you to shore. They have a full-time crew of dozens of people, including a captain, engineers, deckhands, stewards, and another gourmet chef. They even have toys like jet skis, smaller speedboats, and sometimes even a personal submarine for exploring underwater. With a yacht like this, you can explore the most remote and beautiful parts of the world in total privacy and absolute comfort. The Greek Isles, the Caribbean, the fjords of Norway. You just tell the captain where to go. This is a life where the journey is as luxurious as the destination. But here's a question. You can fly your jet anywhere and sail your yacht anywhere, but that doesn't mean you can get in everywhere. The world's most exclusive clubs and gatherings are invitation only. And that leads us to the most invisible and powerful luxury the Thomsons possess: access. What secret doors their name can open is coming up right after this. The velvet rope life, access and influence. Okay, so we've covered the mansions, the art, and the private jets. Those are things money can buy, but now we're getting into a level of luxury that's much more subtle and way more powerful. It's the luxury of access. When your family name is Thomson and you control a $50 billion empire, doors open for you that are permanently closed to 99.9% of the world. This is the velvet rope life on a global scale. Think about the most exclusive clubs on the planet. Old private clubs in London, where deals that shape the world are made in quiet leather-panelled rooms. Exclusive country clubs, where memberships are passed down through generations and cost millions of dollars if you can even get on the waiting list. The Thomsons don't wait on any list, they get the invitation. This access means they can have private meetings with world leaders, financial titans, and thinkers. When they want advice or want to make a deal, they can pick up the phone and speak directly to the person at the very top. There are no gatekeepers for them. They are the gatekeepers. Their influence extends everywhere. Imagine you're passionate about a cause or an institution, say a hospital or a university. Most people donate what they can. The Thomsons can make a donation so large that the institution renames a building after them. They can fund entire research departments. This allows them to shape the world according to their vision in a very real way. But maybe the biggest luxury of all in this category is the privacy it affords them. Their wealth allows them to build a bubble around their family. They can hire the best security firms in the world. They can employ teams of lawyers and advisors to handle any issue quietly and discreetly. This means their children can grow up away from the intense glare of the public eye. They can go to the best schools in the world under a cloak of anonymity. They can live relatively normal lives in the most abnormal of circumstances. This protection from the chaos of the world is a priceless luxury. They don't need to be famous. In fact, their entire strategy is to avoid fame. Their power is quiet, but it's always there, working behind the scenes. They control Thomson Reuters, a massive global information company. That means almost every major bank, news agency and law firm in the world is their customer. They literally provide the data that the powerful use to make powerful decisions. It's an incredible position to be in. They've built a world where they are at the center, but they are never in the spotlight. It's the ultimate power move. So how do you protect a fortune and a legacy this big for future generations? How do you make sure it lasts for hundreds of years? You need a master plan. You need a secret weapon. And the Thomsons have one. It's a private company with a simple name that holds the keys to their entire kingdom. And the story of this financial fortress is next. The Woodbridge Company, the family's financial fortress. So, we've seen the lifestyle that $50 billion can buy. It's a world of pure fantasy. But here's the most important question. How do you keep it? Fortunes can be lost. Families can fight. Bad investments can happen. How have the Thomsons managed to not only protect their wealth, but grow it generation after generation? The answer lies in one of their most private and powerful assets. It's not a mansion or a yacht. It's a company called the Woodbridge Company Limited. You've probably never heard of it, and that's by design. Woodbridge is the Thomson family's private holding company. Think of it as a giant, super secure financial fortress. All of the family's immense wealth, their shares in Thomson Reuters, their real estate, their private investments, everything, is tucked safely inside this one entity. This isn't just a regular company. It's a masterfully designed structure with one primary goal: to preserve and grow the Thomson family fortune for eternity. It's legally set up with a series of complex rules and plans to ensure that the family's control over their empire can never be broken. The current head of the family, David Thomson, chairs Woodbridge. But there are plans and provisions in place for what happens after him and after his children, and so on. It's a dynasty plan written in the language of corporate law. It's designed to prevent the kind of family drama and infighting that has torn other wealthy families apart. The plan is bigger than any one person. This company allows them to operate with a level of secrecy and speed that public companies can only dream of. When they want to make a huge new investment, they don't need to ask shareholders. They just do it, quietly and quickly. Woodbridge is the engine that powers their entire lifestyle. It's the source of the endless river of money that pays for the jets, the art, and the mansions. And it's managed by a team of the smartest financial experts in the world, whose only job is to make the Thomson family richer. Truth be told, this company might be their greatest luxury of all. It's the luxury of security, the peace of mind that comes from knowing that your family's legacy is protected not just for your children, but for your great-great-great-grandchildren. It's a plan for a 1,000-year dynasty. It's an unbelievable story of wealth, power, and planning. From a single radio station in a small Canadian town to a global information empire protected by a private financial fortress, the Thomsons have built a world that is truly their own. So, what did you think? The scale of it is just hard to get your head around, isn't it? A life where every single desire can be met instantly, where your biggest concern is how to manage a fortune that's bigger than the economy of a small nation. Before you go, I have a question for you. If you had just one day with the Thomson family's resources, what's the one completely over-the-top, luxurious thing you would do? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to hear your ideas. And if you enjoyed this peek into the world of the super rich, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories just like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.